The night is quiet now. The air is gentle. Somewhere in the distance, a small flame flickers. Its glow moves slowly across the walls of a cave, the first sanctuary of humankind. Inside this ancient darkness, hands pressed soft clay and carved stone. Figures of round shapes, deep curves, and flowing forms appeared. They were not idols of power. They were not symbols of war. They were mothers. They were givers of life. In the beginning, when the world was still young, people looked to the earth as a living body. Every sprout of grain, every flowing river, every birth of a child was seen as a gift from a greater womb. This was the Divine Mother, the one who held all things close, who nourished, who protected, and who renewed life when the seasons turned. Close your eyes and imagine stepping into that world. The stars above are endless. The night sky feels like a great blanket stretched across the earth. Beneath it, families gather by firelight. They tell stories of the mother. Her breath is the wind. Her body is the soil. Her tears are the rivers that flow into the sea. You sit quietly by the fire. The warmth touches your skin. The crackle of wood becomes the rhythm of a lullaby. Voices rise and fall around you. They are gentle. They are slow. They are full of reverence for her, the one who brings life and takes it back into her arms, so it may be born again. Long before the temples of stone, long before the towers of cities, her presence was known in small, simple ways. She was carved into tiny figures of clay, held close in the palm, kept near the hearth, carried into the fields. These figures were reminders of the truth that the earth itself is a mother, always giving, always surrounding her children with care. The people looked at the cycle of the seasons and saw her story, repeated again and again. The earth rests in the deep silence of winter. Then she wakes. In the gentle light of spring fields bloom with flowers, animals return. Life begins again, and when autumn comes, she gathers it all back into herself, as if drawing her children into her lap, to rest, to sleep, to be safe until the new dawn. The mother was not only in the earth, she was in the sky, she was in the sea, she was in the stars. Everywhere the people turned their eyes, they saw her reflection. The curve of the moon was like the curve of her arms, cradling all who gazed upward. The waves of the ocean were the rising and falling of her breath. The mountains were her bones, strong and unmoving, holding the world steady. And the soil beneath bare feet was the softness of her skin, warm with life. Imagine lying down upon the ground. In those early days of the world, the earth is cool. The stars above are endless. You feel her embrace all around you. No words are needed, only the quiet knowing that you belong to her, that you are safe within her care. The people of those days did not need books or scriptures. The story of the mother was written in the sky, in the trees, in the rivers, in the cycles of the sun. Every breath they took was a reminder of her closeness. Every heartbeat was her rhythm, moving quietly within. In caves deep within stone mountains, paintings still remain. They show animals running, spirals turning, circles without end, and hidden among them, the mother appears, a figure wide and round, full of promise, full of life. Her form is timeless, her meaning eternal. She is not one name, not one face. She is every name, every face. Each tribe, each people saw her in their own way. Some called her the Great Mother. Some called her Earth. Others sang to her as the Queen of Heaven. But her essence was always the same, the one who births, the one who nourishes, the one who receives all life back into her arms. Now, imagine the rhythm of the seasons once more. Winter fades, snow melts, the ground softens beneath the sun, seeds are planted, and soon green shoots rise from the earth. Children laugh in the fields. Birds return to the sky. The mother is alive again. Her cycle is complete. And so the people celebrated her. They sang songs of gratitude. They lit fires at dawn. They danced beneath the stars. Every act of daily life became an offering. A loaf of bread placed upon a stone, a cup of water poured into the earth, a whispered prayer carried on the wind. All returned to her, the one who gave all things. In time, her stories grew into myth. Her name changed with the tongues of the people, yet her presence remained. She was the womb of the universe, from which even the gods themselves were born. She was the endless well of creation, always giving, never empty. And though the ages shifted, though kingdoms rose and fell, her quiet image endured. She could not be forgotten, for she was not apart from life. She was life itself. As you drift in this thought, you may feel her still in the world around you, the ground beneath your resting body, the air that moves gently against your skin, the rhythm of your own heartbeat. All remind you of her. All speak softly, as if the mother still hums her lullaby through every breath of the world. The dawn of the Divine Mother was never just in the past. It is here now. It is always. Whenever life stirs, she awakens. Whenever rest falls, she waits. Whenever the cycle turns, she is present, watching, holding, renewing. Let her image be with you. Now the warmth of her fire, the curve of her arms, the endless night sky stretched like a cloak above. Let these visions soothe you. Let them cradle you. Let them carry you deeper into stillness. The mother calls her children to rest, and you are one of them. Safe, sheltered, loved, close. Your eyes to the ancient fire. Feel the earth beneath. You breathe with the rhythm of her song. And when sleep arrives, know that she is there waiting with quiet arms until the next dawn returns. The night is silver. The air is soft with silence. Far above, the moon has risen, round and glowing. It pours a calm light across ancient lands, stretching over rivers, over palm trees, over the stone walls of temples that still stand, glimmering faintly beneath the stars. You find yourself walking slowly, bare feet upon cool stone. The world around you is hushed, as though waiting. The lamps of the city burn faintly in the distance, but here, at the temple gates, only the moonlight guides your steps. Carved pillars rise on either side. They catch the glow of silver light, shadows dancing gently across their surface. A low breeze carries the scent of incense. The sound of quiet drums drifts from within, beating slowly like the rhythm of a heartbeat. You step inside. The air grows cooler, candles flicker in small alcoves. But it is the moonlight that fills the temple, pouring through an opening in the roof above. A circle of pale light rests on the floor of stone, a pool of silver in which the priestesses gather. They are clothed in soft linen, robes that fall like flowing water. Upon their heads, crowns of reeds and silver glint. Each face is serene, eyes lowered in reverence. Their voices rise together in a gentle chant, a song like the slow rise of tide against the shore. This is the temple of the moon goddess. In Sumer, she was called Inanna. In Babylon, she was known as Sin. And to the priestesses, she was the Lady of Light, the watcher of cycles, the one who balanced darkness and dawn. The women sing to her softly. Each note is a thread, woven upward, binding earth to sky. The chant is not loud. It does not press against the night. It drifts, like a feather caught in air, lifting hearts toward the heavens. You settle quietly among the shadows, listening. The song speaks of the moon's journey, how she rises, full and glowing, then wanes, growing slender, until she disappears into darkness. Yet always she returns. Always she begins again. For the people of Sumer and Babylon, this cycle was sacred. The moon was the great clock in the sky. It marked the months, the planting of fields, the festivals of harvest. Her light measured time itself, and so the priestesses sang to her, honoring her faithful return, her endless renewal. The chant continues, soft as breath, deep as still water. A drum joins in, slow and steady. Each beat feels like the sound of your own pulse, echoing in your chest. The temple floor seems to hum with it, a heartbeat beneath the stone. Now the priestesses move in a circle. Their steps are measured, slow as the turning of stars. Robes sway like gentle waves. Arms rise and fall with grace, mirroring the waxing and waning moon. Their dance is prayer. Their breath is devotion, each motion a gift to the Lady above. You watch in silence. The silver pool of light upon the floor shifts as clouds pass across the sky. The temple becomes alive with shadows. Figures glide in and out of brightness, like spirits moving between worlds. For those who came seeking wisdom, the priestesses were the voice of the goddess. They listened to dreams. They studied the sky. They carried herbs in woven baskets, whispering blessings as they healed. They were midwives to both body and soul, guides through the mysteries of birth and death. When kings sought counsel, they came not to armies, but to these women of the moon. They asked what the stars were saying. They asked what omens the moonlight revealed. And the priestesses, after nights of watching the heavens, gave answers in voices calm and steady, words flowing like rivers from the silence. The chant begins to fade. The drum falls quiet. The circle of priestesses kneels. The temple is still once more. Only the faint sound of wind remains, brushing against the stone walls. You lift your eyes to the opening in the roof. The moon is high now. Casting her light fully, she seems to gaze down, gentle, patient, a guardian watching her children. The priestesses bow low, foreheads against the floor. They stay in silence for a long while, hearts resting in the moon's embrace, and you too feel the hush of her presence, a calm that settles deep, a calm that feels like sleep itself. Time drifts in the temple. It is hard to know how long you remain. The night passes gently, like water flowing beneath a bridge. The moon moves across the sky. Her light shifts, changing the shadows, painting new shapes upon the walls. The priestesses rise slowly. They place bowls of milk and honey at the altar. They light more candles, each one a tiny star in the darkness. Their movements are quiet, unhurried, like flowing streams. Nothing is rushed here. Everything follows the rhythm of breath, the rhythm of the moon, the rhythm of time itself. You close your eyes. The chant still lingers in your memory, soft, like a lullaby that never ends. The scent of incense curls upward, fading into the cool night air. The warmth of the candles glows behind your eyelids. You are surrounded by peace, by timeless presence. The priestesses return to their chambers. The temple grows still once again. Yet the silence is not empty. It is full, brimming with a quiet strength, like the pause between heartbeats, like the breath held before dawn. Outside, the city sleeps. The river flows on in the darkness, and above it all, the moon continues her journey, faithful as ever, pouring silver light across the land. You rest in that silver glow. You breathe with the rhythm of her light. Her cycle becomes your cycle. Her calm becomes your calm. Her silence becomes your sleep. Now the night deepens. The stars shimmer faintly. The temple lies quiet, its stones cool and unmoving. The moon is a gentle guardian above, and you are safe beneath her watch. Drift now. As the priestesses drift, as the city drifts, as the world drifts, into silence, into stillness, into sleep. The river is quiet tonight. The Nile glides beneath the moon, its surface shining like liquid silver. Palm trees bend gently in the cool wind, their shadows swaying across the water. You float upon a small boat. The oars barely touch the surface, sending ripples outward, circles that widen, then fade into stillness. The night is hushed, as though the land itself is holding its breath. Ahead, a temple rises from the riverbank. Torches burn low at its gates, their flames dancing in the breeze. Stone walls glow pale in the moonlight, and above them, carved in timeless relief, is the image of a woman with wings spread wide. This is Isis, the goddess of healing, of devotion, of comfort that never ends. Step softly onto the shore. The ground is warm from the sun's memory. The air carries the scent of lotus flowers, sweet and calming, floating from the gardens nearby. The sound of the river remains behind you, like a gentle heartbeat. You pass between columns painted with stars and lilies. Each one rises tall, reaching toward the sky, as if holding the heavens in place. Inside, the temple glows with quiet firelight. Priests and priestesses move slowly, robes brushing against the stone floor. They sing in low tones, a hymn to Isis, words of gratitude, words of love. Her story is ancient. It begins with love Osiris. The just king was her beloved. When he was torn apart by death, Scattered across the land, Isis did not despair. She searched for every piece. Through deserts, through waters, through shadowed lands, she gathered what was lost. With gentle hands, she placed the fragments together. She wrapped them in linen, and with her breath, she gave life again. From sorrow she made renewal, from brokenness, wholeness. And in this gift, she brought hope to the world, the promise that love can heal, that devotion can restore, that nothing is ever truly lost. Imagine her wings. They stretch wide, like the soft embrace of the night. Feathers shimmer with starlight. They fold around the weary, around the hurting, around the lost. Every soul finds rest in her shadow. Every heart finds peace in her presence. She is called the Great Mother, the protector of children, the healer of wounds, the comforter of the grieving. Her voice is not loud. It is a whisper, like the rustle of reeds in the wind. It speaks to the soul, telling it to rest, to trust, to let go into her arms. In the temple, a statue of Isis stands before you. Her face is calm. Her eyes are kind. She holds a child close against her breast, a symbol of life renewed. Around her head, a throne-shaped crown rises, the sign of her name, the mark of her power. Offerings are laid at her feet, baskets of grain, jars of sweet oil, garlands of flowers. Every gift is small, yet every gift is precious. Each one whispers, "Thank you, Mother, for your care, for your shelter, for your love." The hymn continues. Voices rise in harmony, then fall into silence. A priestess steps forward. She carries a lamp filled with oil. The flame flickers, casting soft light across the walls. On the stone, carved scenes come alive. You see Isis with her wings spread wide, shielding the dead as they journey to the afterlife. You see her pouring water from a jug, blessing the earth, renewing its life. You see her kneeling beside Osiris, her hands upon him, her breath restoring his heart. Each image tells the same truth: Isis is comfort, Isis is devotion. Isis is the quiet strength that gathers what is broken and makes it whole again. The Nile flows outside, its waters carrying reflection of the moon. For the people of Egypt, this river was life itself. They saw Isis in its steady flood, and her nourishment in its waters, her patience in its flow. When the river rose, it was her gift. When the crops grew, it was her blessing. And just as the Nile never ceased, so too did Isis never abandon. Her presence was a constant thread, woven through every birth, every harvest, every passing of a soul. Now the hymn fades. The temple grows quiet. Only the sound of wind through the pillars remains, low and steady. You feel her presence still, as if the air itself carries her breath. Close your eyes. Imagine her wings unfolding around you. They are vast, soft as clouds, warm as sunlight. They cover you gently, like a blanket in the night. Every worry eases, every sorrow softens. Her wings are comfort itself. You rest in her embrace. The broken pieces of your day, the scattered thoughts, the weight you carried, all are gathered, all are placed together, all are healed in her presence. The moon climbs higher. Stars shimmer quietly above. The Nile flows on, carrying silver ripples downstream, and in the heart of the temple, the lamp continues to burn, its flame steady. Never wavering, Isis remains. She is eternal. Her story does not end. Wherever there is sorrow, she is there. Wherever there is love, she is there. Wherever something broken longs to be whole, she is there. Let her voice linger now, a whisper in the night air, a lullaby older than the stars. She tells you that you are safe, that you are loved, that you may rest. The temple walls fade from view. The river becomes a dream. The moon drifts softly overhead. You close your eyes in her arms. Her wings fold gently around you, and you sleep, carried by her comfort, carried by her love, carried by the eternal embrace of Isis. The night is still. Stars shimmer like scattered jewels above the desert plain. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of dry earth and distant water. You walk softly, feet pressing against ancient stone paths that lead toward a grand ziggurat, its steps rising into the moonlight. At its summit, a shrine glows with gentle fire. Lamps of oil burn with steady flames. Shadows dance upon the walls, their movement like slow waves. The air is hushed, yet within it hums a quiet power, a presence that seems to listen. This is the realm of Inanna, queen of heaven and of earth, a goddess of love and war, of beauty and of truth. Her crown glitters with the morning star, bright and unwavering. Her robes flow like rivers of light. She is radiant. She is strong. And yet, her story tonight is not one of glory above, but of descent below. It is told that Inanna, moved by mystery, resolved to journey to the underworld, to visit the land of her sister, Ereshkigal, the queen of the dark realm, a place where shadows walk slowly, where silence is deep and endless. Inanna set out clothed in all her power. Upon her head, she wore a crown of shining gold. Upon her neck, a necklace heavy with stones. Upon her chest, a breastplate of strength. Around her wrists and hands, rings of silver. Her robe was rich and flowing, woven with the symbols of heaven. Each piece was her glory. Each piece, a part of her identity, yet the path she chose would ask her to surrender them one by one as the gates of the underworld stood waiting. The first gate loomed tall. Its bars were dark, cold to the touch. A guardian spoke in a voice like wind through empty halls. To pass, Inanna, you must leave behind your crown. So she bowed her head. She let go of her crown, the shining circle of the morning star. Bareheaded, she stepped forward. The second gate creaked open. The guardian's voice came again. To pass, Inanna, you must leave behind your necklace. She touched the stones once more, then released them. They fell silent, their weight gone from her. She walked on. At the third gate, her breastplate was taken. At the fourth, her ring slipped from her hands. At the fifth, her robe was removed, leaving her bare. At each threshold, something was surrendered. At each step, her glory was stripped away, until finally, she stood without crown, without jewels, without protection, only herself, only her soul, naked and unguarded in the silent halls of shadow. The underworld was still. Its walls were carved from stone that had never seen the sun. No wind moved there, no bird sang, only silence. And at the center of that silence, upon a dark throne, sat Ereshkigal. Her face was grave, her eyes deep as night. She gazed at Inanna and saw her sister stripped of power, stripped of pride. Some say Inanna was judged. Some say she was hung upon a hook, her body still, her spirit quiet. For in the underworld, all who enter must taste death, and even the goddess of heaven was no exception. Yet within this silence, within this surrender, a mystery unfolded. For to descend is not to be lost forever, to yield is not to vanish. Even in darkness, there waits the seed of renewal. Outside the underworld, the world above mourned, the rivers slowed, the fields lay barren, love itself seemed to pause. The people cried out for their goddess. Messengers were sent. Prayers were spoken. Offerings were placed at shrines. And in time, through compassion and intercession, Inanna was allowed to return. But not without change, for no one leaves the underworld unchanged. She rose again, step by step through each gate she had passed. Yet as she rose, the guardians restored what had been taken. Her robe was returned. Her jewels were placed once more upon her. Her necklace circled her throat. Her crown shone again upon her brow. But though she stood clothed in glory, she was not the same. Her eyes carried new depth, the shadow of what she had seen. Her spirit held new wisdom, the strength born of surrender. She knew the underworld now, and she knew the sky. She was both descent and return, both loss and renewal. Her story whispers to all who hear it, that to let go is not the end, that in emptiness there can be discovery, that to bow, to yield to release, these are not signs of weakness, but of transformation. Inanna teaches that the soul, like the moon, wanes and returns, that life moves in cycles, through darkness and back to light, that surrender is part of the journey, and that return is always possible. Now, rest with her presence. See her wings shimmering in the night. See the morning star rising once more, clear and steady above the horizon. Feel her strength, not only in glory but in humility. in the courage of release, in the grace of return. The desert is quiet again. The ziggurat stands tall against the stars. The lamps of oil still burn, their flames soft and golden. The night air carries peace, deep and wide. Close your eyes. Feel yourself passing through gates of your own. At the first, you set down the weight of the day. At the second, you lay aside your worries. At the third, your restless thoughts grow quiet. At the fourth, your heart feels light. At the fifth, your body softens. And finally, you stand in stillness, unburdened, at rest. This is the gift of descent, to release what you carry, and this is the gift of return, to rise again renewed. The stars shimmer gently overhead. The moon glides through the sky. The desert wind hums low and steady, and the story of Inanna, ancient and tender, settles into the night. She is with you, in the quiet, in the surrender, in the return. Now drift softly, as the morning star watches over you. Now rest, as the night deepens into dream, and let us drift onward, toward the next story that waits in the stillness. The mountains are quiet. Their slopes are bathed in the soft glow of morning mist. Pines rise tall and slender, their branches stirring gently in the cool air. A path of stone winds upward, narrow and ancient, leading into the heart of the sacred mountain. As you walk, you hear only the whisper of your own breath and the rustle of leaves touched by wind. The world grows hushed, as if listening, as if waiting. High upon the slope, a temple comes into view. Its columns stand tall, ivory white against the deep blue of the sky. The stones are worn smooth by time, yet they shine with quiet dignity. Here is Delphi, the navel of the world, the place where heaven and earth are said to meet. The air carries a faint sweetness, like laurel leaves crushed between fingers. The sound of water echoes nearby, a sacred spring flowing clear and cool. It murmurs softly, as though singing a hymn older than memory. Travelers have come here for centuries. Kings, wanderers, seekers, all drawn by the promise of wisdom. They climb the mountain path, their hearts heavy with questions, their hands carrying offerings. They come not for gold, nor for power, but for words, words spoken in whispers, words shaped by the unseen. At the heart of the temple, a chamber lies dim and still. Its floor is polished stone, its air heavy with incense. Here the Pythia sits, the oracle of Apollo, priestess of the sun god. She breathes deeply, drawing into herself the breath of the earth. It rises through cracks in the stone, a sweet vapor that softens her senses, that opens the door between the seen and unseen. Her eyes grow distant. Her voice becomes soft, a rhythm not of her own making. Words spill forth like water, sometimes clear, sometimes hidden in mist. Her whispers carry the touch of the divine, like threads of gold woven into the air. Those who hear her words do not always understand them at once, for the oracle speaks in riddles, gentle puzzles shaped by mystery. To some they are warnings, to others promises. Yet all who listen feel the weight of something beyond themselves. Kings come, their robes heavy with jewels. They bow low, seeking guidance before war. The oracle answers not with commands, but with soft riddles, like stars reflected in water. The meaning waits, hidden yet present, until the heart is ready to see. Wanderers come too, humble, weary, their feet dusted from long roads. They ask not of empires, but of simple things, love home, the path of the soul. And still the oracle whispers. Her words fall upon them like dew, refreshing, gentle, carrying comfort even in their mystery. It is said the oracle spoke not by her own will. Her voice was a vessel, her body a bridge. Apollo, the god of light, moved through her breath. His presence filled the chamber, not as fire, not as thunder, but as a quiet flame, a golden warmth unseen. The priestess gave herself to this mystery, emptying her own thoughts so that another voice might flow through. In this surrender, her words touched both heaven and earth, both the mortal heart and the divine will. Outside the temple, pilgrims wait among the stones. The sun drifts slowly across the sky. They gaze upon the mountains, their peaks rising like guardians, their silence deep as prayer. Some close their eyes, listening for the echo of the oracle's voice. Some feel tears rise, though they do not know why. For Delphi is not only a place of answers, but a place of presence. The stillness itself teaches. The silence itself heals. The laurel leaves rustle softly. The sacred spring flows on, its song unchanged for ages. Birds wheel slowly in the air, their wings catching the sunlight. Each detail seems touched with meaning. Each sound feels like part of a hidden hymn. The oracle's voice lingers in the air, like a candle's smoke after the flame has gone. Her words weave into memory, becoming part of the traveler's heart. They walk away from the temple, down the winding paths of the mountain, carrying not certainty, but something softer, the seed of wisdom, the breath of the divine, a whisper that will unfold in its own time. In this way, Delphi became more than a place. It became a symbol, the navel of the world, the point where human longing touched the divine. A reminder that truth often comes softly, not in thunder but in whispers, not in answers shouted, but in riddles that awaken the soul. And so the oracle's voice remains, echoing across time. Her words still drift like incense, gentle and unseen, reminding those who listen to be patient with mystery, to find peace in not knowing, to trust the slow unfolding of wisdom. Now the temple grows quiet again. The torches burn low. The sacred spring continues its endless song. The mountains stand watch, unchanging, eternal. Close your eyes and imagine the cool stone beneath your feet, the scent of laurel and smoke in the air, the hush of voices fading into stillness. Feel yourself resting here, safe among the ancient columns, bathed in the presence of silence. Let the oracle's gentle riddles become like dreams within you. Let them drift softly, without the need to solve them, for wisdom does not rush. Wisdom waits, like seeds beneath the soil, like stars behind the clouds. The mountains breathe in the night air. The sacred spring flows on, endless and calm. The oracle's chamber lies still, its silence filled with memory. And you too drift now into your own temple of rest, into your own chamber of dreams. The journey continues, but for now, you are safe. You are held. You are surrounded by the quiet strength of the mountains and by the soft riddles of the divine. Now rest as the stars return to their watch. Now drift as the breath of the earth cradles you. Let us move onward, slowly, gently, toward the next story waiting in the silence. The night is wide and hushed. Above, the sky spreads like a quiet sea of stars. Each point of light trembles gently, as though breathing with you. The air is calm, cool, and steady. In this silence, a story begins to unfold. A story about a gentle presence, known in ancient whispers as Sophia. She is called the spirit of wisdom, not fierce, not loud, but soft, like a lamp glowing in a darkened room. She has appeared in dreams and in visions, in scripture and in song, always with the same tender essence, guiding, never forcing, illuminating, never blinding. As you rest, imagine her presence drifting closer, like a veil of starlight unfolding across the sky. She does not arrive in haste. She does not demand to be seen. She is simply there, as quiet as the hush of breath just before sleep. Long ago, seekers of truth spoke of her. Some saw her as a radiant figure, a woman clothed in light with eyes that reflected both kindness and eternity. Others felt her presence only within, as a thought that shimmered clear and pure, a voice that never shouted yet never faltered. She was said to stand beside the divine, as a companion in creation. When the stars were hung in the sky, they imagined her hand tracing their paths. When rivers were carved through valleys, they believed her wisdom chose their course. Every blossom opening in the morning sun was thought to hold a spark of her presence, a reminder that beauty itself is a form of wisdom. Imagine her now, walking through a garden at twilight. The flowers bow gently in the evening breeze. The air smells of lavender and earth. Her steps leave no mark, yet wherever she lingers, clarity follows. A seeker once asked, "Where do I find wisdom?" And in the quiet of his heart, he felt her answer. Look not in the storm, but in the stillness after, not in the cry of power, but in the kindness that heals. Wisdom is not hidden from you. It waits within you, as a flame waits within the candle. These words were never written on stone. They were breathed, carried on the wind, remembered in moments of silence when the world felt heavy. Sophia's way was always gentle, always subtle, like the hush of dawn before the first bird sings. Close your eyes a little more deeply now, and picture her light settling like morning mist upon your thoughts. Each thought is a leaf. Her presence is the dew, gathering softly, giving weight, bringing clarity. The restless mind begins to quiet, for Sophia speaks in stillness, not in noise. She has been called by many names. Some called her Eternal Wisdom. Some named her Lady of Understanding. Some simply felt her as breath, moving through the chambers of the heart. Her voice is never bound to one tongue, for wisdom is a universal song, sung softly beneath every language. There is an old vision told by mystics. They spoke of a throne of light that stood in the heavens. Beside it stood Sophia, clothed not in gold, but in the simplicity of pure radiance. Her robe flowed like moonlight over water. Her gaze carried the calm of the ages. From her hands, they said, streams of light poured out, becoming rivers of understanding that reached every corner of the world. Kings might drink from these rivers, and so might shepherds, for wisdom was never meant for one people alone. It was meant for all, as free as the breath of air, as open as the sky at night. Think of her now as the lantern bearer in the corridors of your own heart. You wander sometimes through darkened passages where worries echo and questions weigh heavy. She does not chase the shadows away with fire. Instead, she lights a small lamp, and in its glow you see that the path is not lost. It was always there, waiting to be seen in the soft glow of her wisdom. The early mystics also spoke of her as the breath of creation. They said she was the whisper that called the first spark into being. Not a shout, not a command, but a whisper, for creation itself, they believed, began in gentleness. Every soul, they said, carries a reflection of Sophia. When you pause, when you listen, when you choose kindness over anger, her spirit awakens in you. When you forgive, when you seek peace, when you cherish truth, her light shines quietly through the folds of your being. Picture the sea at dawn. The waters are smooth, colored with the first pale silver of morning. A heron lifts its wings, slow and graceful. The air is soft with promise. This is how Sophia's presence feels. Not a rush, but a calm unfolding. Not a command, but an invitation. She does not ask you to run, only to walk gently. She does not demand perfection, only openness. Her wisdom is not a ladder to climb, but a stream to rest beside, where the water teaches without a word. Sometimes the ancients spoke of her as a motherly figure, holding the fragile soul with endless patience. When hearts were weary, they said she rocked them gently, as a mother rocks a child. When minds were clouded, she brushed them clear, like a hand smoothing wrinkled linen. She was not far away. She was near, always near, as close as the beat of breath, as close as the warmth in your chest. Rest now, and let her presence guide you inward. See yourself standing in a quiet temple, pillars rising high like silent trees. At the center, a flame glows softly. It is not fierce. It is steady. This flame is Sophia. You draw nearer. The flame does not burn you. Instead, it welcomes you, offering warmth without consuming, light without blinding. It asks nothing of you. It only shines. This is her nature. Wisdom asks not for fear, not for striving, but for presence, to stand in the glow, to breathe, to listen. In one old tale, Sophia was asked by a wanderer, "How will I know the right way?" She answered, "Not with a map, but with a mirror of water. Look," she said, "and see what your heart reflects. If it reflects peace, then you walk in wisdom. If it reflects only turmoil, rest until it clears." The wanderer understood. Wisdom is not only in answers, it is also in waiting. It is also in silence. As your body sinks deeper into rest, let Sophia's gift surround you. Let her presence be like cool night air through an open window. Let it be like the hush of leaves swaying slowly in the dark. Let it be like a candle that never flickers, but simply glows. Every thought begins to quiet. Every worry drifts further away. You are carried in the arms of wisdom. softly, steadily, with no hurry, no wait. In time, dawn will come again, but for now, night holds you, and Sophia watches in silence. Her spirit of wisdom rests beside you, like a guardian of stillness, like a mother of light. You are safe in her care, you are held in her calm. Now drift deeper and deeper as the stars continue their quiet song above. Let Sophia's light guide you inward, toward the soft horizon of dreams. Rest, child of the night. Rest, seeker of wisdom. For Sophia, the spirit of wisdom, is with you always. And as the flame of her presence glows, you may let go, sinking gently into the ocean of sleep. Now rest, as the stars return. The desert stretches wide beneath the night. Sand lies cool under silver moonlight. The air is still, touched only by the faint rustle of wind. Stars hang low and clear, like lanterns placed in the sky by unseen hands. In this vast silence, there once walked women of great stillness, the desert mothers. They were seekers, choosing solitude over noise, choosing silence over the clamor of the cities. They carried no riches, only the longing for peace, only the hunger to hear the whisper of Godan, the quiet places of the earth. Imagine the desert at dusk. The sun has set, leaving behind deep colors fading into night. The earth cools, and the sky opens like a great calm sea of stars. In small caves or simple huts, the desert mothers rest upon woven mats. Their lamps burn faintly, casting shadows on the rough stone walls. They breathe slowly. They speak little. Their words, when they do arise, are gentle and measured, like drops of water falling into a still pool. These women lived not for noise, but for stillness, not for crowds, but for the quiet presence of the divine. They were called Ammas, a word meaning mothers, but they were mothers in a different sense, not only of children, but of wisdom, of prayer, of silence itself. Their wisdom was not given in loud speeches, it was shared in small sayings, soft as the desert wind, short as a single breath. One Amma said, "Do not let your heart become a marketplace. Keep it a temple." Another whispered, "Silence is the friend of the soul." Their words were like seeds, tiny but enduring. Even now, after centuries, they still grow quietly in the hearts of those who listen. Picture one of them now, a solitary figure, sitting upon the sand. Her eyes are closed. Her hands rest softly in her lap. Around her, the desert is endless. Yet she is not afraid. The stillness is her companion. The stars are her teachers. The breath of wind is her prayer. She has turned away from the noise of the world, but not from love. Her love has only widened, stretching to embrace all people, all creation, all life. In her silence, she listens not only for God, but also for the hidden music of the world, the hum of the earth beneath the sand, the rhythm of her own breath, the quiet pulse of the stars. The desert mothers believe that wisdom comes slowly. It rises like dawn, soft, patient, spilling light little by little. They taught that the soul cannot be hurried. It must rest. It must wait. It must breathe. One Amma told her students,
"Sit in your cell, and your cell will teach you everything." By cell, she meant the small room where she prayed,
but also the quiet within. She knew that silence itself can become a teacher. Stillness itself can open the heart. Feel yourself now in such a place of stillness. A small hut of stone, a lamp glowing faintly, the desert breeze moving softly outside. The world is hushed. Your thoughts, too, begin to hush. You sit quietly, and the silence does not feel empty. It feels alive, as though something gentle, something sacred, breathes within it. Some desert mothers spoke of the heart as a wide, open sky. Worries were like passing clouds. Thoughts were like birds that flew across. But the sky itself remained clear, vast, unchanging. To find peace, they said, is to remember the sky of the heart and not to chase every passing cloud. So they let their thoughts drift by, like winds over sand. They did not cling. They did not fight. They rested in the deeper stillness beneath. At times, travelers came to them, seeking counsel. They would walk across the burning sands, carrying questions heavy on their hearts. When they arrived, the desert mothers did not always answer at once. Sometimes they simply offered silence. Sometimes they spoke just one line. Yet in that single line, or in that single silence, was a depth that could not be measured. One traveler once asked, "What must I do to be at peace?" The Amma simply handed him a small bowl of water, and she let it rest until the ripples grew still. "See," she said, "when the water is quiet, it reflects the sky. So too the soul, when it rests, can reflect what is divine." Let these words settle in you now, as gently as sand settling after the wind. Peace is not found in striving, but in resting. Wisdom is not forced, but received. Like a desert spring hidden beneath the ground, it rises quietly, in its own time. The desert mothers often compared the soul to a candle. The flame must be guarded from strong winds. If the winds are too wild, the flame flickers and dies. But in a sheltered place, the candle burns steadily, giving light without effort. So they sheltered their inner flame in silence, in solitude and prayer, and from that small, steady flame came warmth, light, and guidance. Now imagine the desert night once more. The stars blaze above, bright and uncountable. The sand glimmers faintly in their glow. A gentle wind moves across the dunes, soft as a lullaby. In a small cave, a desert mother rests. Her breath is deep and calm. Her mind is still. In her silence, she touches eternity, and as you listen, you too begin to touch it. Not far away, not unreachable, but close as the next breath. Some said that the desert itself was their teacher. It stripped away the unnecessary. It held only what was simple, what was true: sky, sand, wind, and silence. The emptiness of the desert was not a burden to them. It was freedom. It gave space for the soul to breathe. Rest now in that same spaciousness. Feel your body growing lighter, your thoughts softer, the vast sky above, the steady earth below, and within you, a calm that spreads, like ripples moving outward on still water. The desert mothers remind us even now. Peace is not outside of you. It waits within, like a lamp unlit, like a spring hidden in the ground. Be still, and it will rise. So let us drift with them into the quiet of the desert night. The sand glows silver beneath the moon. The stars breathe softly above. The air is cool, calm, endless, and in the silence, wisdom whispers like the wind. Let your heart grow quiet. Let your soul rest like water in a still bowl. Let the light of your inner candle glow steady and clear. Now rest, as the desert mothers rest, as the stars keep watch, as the night opens its arms. Sleep gently, and let the silence carry you deeper. Let us drift onward, to the dreams waiting just beyond the horizon. Now rest, as the stars return. The night begins with water, a gentle trickle, a flowing stream, a river moving in silence through the dark. Moonlight rests upon its surface, and the stars above are mirrored in its shifting silver. You stand at the river's edge, listening. The sound is steady, like the slow breathing of the earth. The river carries memory, carrying the songs of ages past, carrying the whispers of those who once knelt at its shores. Since the dawn of time, people have looked upon rivers as mothers, as givers of life. They carried food, they carried fresh water, they carried the fertile soil that grew the harvests. But beyond all these gifts, rivers carried mystery. They flowed endlessly, always moving, never clinging, yet always present. And so across the world, many named them sacred, many gave them voices, many called them goddesses. In India, the great river Gangesha has been loved as a divine mother for thousands of years. They call her Ganga. Her waters are believed to flow not only from the snows of the Himalayas, but also from heaven itself. Legends say she once rested in the sky, a heavenly stream too strong for the earth to hold, but when a king prayed for her to descend, she came down, gentled by the god Shiva, so that her waters could bless the world. To bathe in her waters is to wash away heaviness, to touch her streamies to remember purity. Her flow is not only water, but mercy. She carries away the burdens of the soul as easily as she carries fallen leaves down to the sea. Picture her now, the moonlight upon her waves. Pilgrims walking softly into the water, hands folded, hearts open. They do not struggle. They simply step in and let the water move around them, cool, flowing, endless. The Ganges sings, and in her song is comfort, a lullaby older than any word. Far to the west, another river goddess was honored. Her name was Tigris, flowing through the lands of Sumer and Babylon. Along with her sister, Euphrates, she cradled the world's first cities. Fields of wheat and barley drank from her streams. Fishermen cast their nets in her waters. Children played at her banks. Kings built temples near her flow. To the ancients, the Tigris was more than a river. She was the body of a goddess, alive, moving, strong. Her floods brought both danger and life, but in her power was blessing. The people honored her as one honors a mother, with awe, with gratitude, with reverence. Close your eyes and imagine her wide waters gliding beneath a golden sun. Boats drift upon her surface. Palm trees bow along her edges. And beneath the calm, the river carries stories, carrying them forward, never looking back. She teaches to live is to move, to flow, to trust the journey. Even in Greece, the rivers had names that were sacred. The river Styx was feared and honored, its waters binding even the gods to their oaths. But alongside it, gentler streams were remembered, clear rivers that nourished valleys, where nymphs, the daughters of the waters, danced unseen among the reeds. To drink from a sacred spring was to taste renewal, to wash in a sacred stream was to touch purity. The people saw rivers not as things, but as presences. They were alive, with spirits that flowed like liquid light. In Africa, the Nile too was loved as divine. It rose each year in flood, and its waters spread across the land, leaving rich black soil for crops to grow. To the Egyptians, the Nile was the very breath of the gods. Without it, no life could remain, so they honored it with hymns, calling it a bringer of joy, a father and a mother, a god and a goddess at once. The Nile carried more than water, it carried time. Its floods marked the rhythm of the year, the seasons of planting, the seasons of harvest. Its flow reminded the people that life, too, has its seasons. There is a time to rise, a time to fall, a time to rest, and always a time to begin again. Wherever rivers flow, they teach the same truth. Let go. The water never clings. It carries what it touches onward. It moves without fear, without hesitation, and yet it is never lost. It always finds the sea. The goddesses of the rivers were seen as mothers because they gave without measure. They never held back. They flowed through drought and storm, through silence and flood. They kept giving, even when unnoticed, even when their waters seemed small. Their flow was faithful, and so they were honored as eternal symbols of giving, of mercy, of trust. Picture yourself now standing beside such a sacred river. The stars shimmer above. The moon floats in the current below. You reach down and touch the water with your hand. It is cool, gentle, alive. The river does not resist your touch. It flows around it, welcoming it, carrying even the smallest movement onward. As you listen, the sound of the river becomes a song. It is soft, like the whisper of leaves. It is endless, like the breath of the earth. It sings, "Let go, flow, trust." The desert mother spoke of silence. The river goddesses spoke of movement. Together they remind us, silence and flow are not opposed. Silence is the depth. Flow is the journey. Both are needed. Both are gifts. In the river's mirror, you see your own life. All the moments, all the memories, all the thoughts and feelings. They are like leaves upon the water. The river carries them gently, not losing them, but bringing them where they belong. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is left behind. Everything flows, and so, as the ancients bowed to the rivers, as they prayed at their banks, as they whispered songs into their waves, they were also whispering to themselves. They were reminding their own hearts, do not hold too tightly. Do not fear the current. Life is a river. You are carried. You are safe. Now, the river before you grows wide, calm, shining beneath the silver night. It cradles the moonlight, and it carries the stars. You step closer, and you feel its cool mist upon your skin. It is gentle. It is soothing. It welcomes you without demand. Its flow is steady, like a lullaby for the soul. You listen. You breathe. And with each breath, you feel lighter, as if the river has taken your burdens and carried them away. The goddesses of the rivers remain. Though centuries have passed, their waters still move, their voices still sing, their message is the same. Let go, flow onward, trust the sea that waits for you, so rest now by their shores. The night is calm, the river is endless, the stars bend low, as though watching over your sleep. The waters sing softly, and in their song, you are safe. Let us drift onward with the rivers of the world. Let us rest, as their goddesses rest. Let us sleep as the stars return. The night is quiet. The sky is heavy with stars, like lamps set across an endless ceiling. A soft breeze drifts through unseen trees. You breathe in, slowly, and the air carries the scent of earth after rain, gentle and grounding. Far away, a drum seems to beat, steady, low, like the pulse of the world. It is not a sound to stir you awake, but a sound to rock you into calm. You are entering the dream of Shakti, the living force that moves all things. She is not far, for she lives in every breath, in every flame, in every flowing stream. She is the pulse you hear in the dark, the hum you feel beneath silence. Long ago, in the sacred lands of India, the sages spoke of a great power. They said the world itself is alive. The rivers move, the trees grow, the sun rises and falls, because a divine energy dances within them. They called this power Shakti. Shakti is not a single form. She is the strength of all forms. She is the current in the river, the fire in the hearth, the love in the heart, the birth of stars, the breath of the earth. She is the mother but also the warrior, the gentle stream, and the storm. Everything that lives and moves is touched by her. Imagine now a temple, built of cool stone standing under the moon. Its lamps glow softly, casting golden circles of light. Inside, the air is warm, sweet with incense. On the altar rests an image, but the image is only a reminder, for Shakti cannot be contained by stone, or by word, or by thought. She is the life within the flame, within the breath, within the heart of the one who kneels to her. In the stories of the ancients, Shakti takes many forms. Sometimes she is gentle, a mother who nourishes. Sometimes she is fierce, a goddess who battles darkness. But in every form, she is love. Her strength is not harsh, it is steady, like a river that cannot be stopped. It is patient, like the roots of a tree that hold the earth together. One tale speaks of her as Durga. The world had fallen under shadow, and none could defeat the darkness. So Shakti appeared, riding a lion, her many arms carrying the tools of light. She shone with calm power, her face serene, even as she faced the storm. The darkness fell away before her, not because of rage, but because of her unshakable balance. Her presence reminded all beings that even in chaos, there is a center of peace. Another tale speaks of her as Parvati, the gentle mountain-born. She is patience itself, a river flowing with devotion. Beside her, love becomes steady, a bond that cannot be broken. She is the quiet strength that holds the world together, the softness that never fades. And then there is Kali, wild and free, dancing beneath the stars. Her dance is fierce, yet her heart is pure. She reminds us that endings too are sacred. That release is also a form of love. Where one cycle ends, another begins. Her dance clears the way so that life may always return. Shakti is all of these, and more. She is every face of the sacred feminine, not limited to one, but flowing through many. Like water poured into a vessel, she takes the shape of each, yet remains the same essence. Close your eyes now, and feel her presence. It may come as warmth in the chest, or as the soft rhythm of your breath. It may come as the memory of a mother's touch, or the hush of the ocean, Shakti is subtle, yet she is everywhere. Her power is not loud. It whispers, like the wind moving through the trees. It hums, like the earth beneath your feet. In the philosophy of the sages, Shakti is the dance of the universe. Without her, there would only be silence, pure stillness, without movement, without form. But with her, the stillness becomes alive. The silent becomes song. The unseen becomes visible. The universe itself breathes because she moves within it. Think of the ocean. Deep below, it is still dark, silent, yet on the surface, waves rise and fall, sparkling in the light of the moon. The depth is spirit. The waves are Shakti. Both are one ocean, but without the waves, the ocean would seem asleep. Shakti awakens it. She gives it motion. This dance of Shaktis also in you. The beating of your heart, the rising and falling of your breath, the thoughts that pass like clouds, the dreams that flicker in the night, all are Shakti. You are not apart from her. You are her temple. Her flame burns quietly within you, always steady, always alive. The sages taught that when one remembers Shakti, life becomes a dance. Every action, no matter how small, becomes sacred. Every word, every step, every breath is touched by divine energy. To eat is to honor her. To rest is to honor her. To dream is to honor her. For in all things she moves gently, like a river flowing home. Imagine now the great cosmic dance. The stars themselves swirl like sparks from her endless fire. Galaxies turn like wheels, slow, luminous, unhurried. Planets drift in their paths, all held within the rhythm of her movement. And here, on this quiet night, your own breath joins that dance, slowly, gently, endlessly, in villages across India. Devotees once gathered in the evenings to sing her names. The air filled with the sound of drums, bells, and voices rising like prayer. Yet her presence was not only in the temple. She was also in the mother feeding her child, in the farmer sowing the field, in the child laughing by the river. She was in the fire that cooked the meal, in the rain that softened the earth, in the wind that cooled the skin. To live was to move within her embrace. The wisdom of Shakti is simple. It tells us, do not fear change. Do not fear the flow of time. For all things are her dance, even rest, even silence, even sleep. When the sun sets, Shakti rests in the darkness. When the dawn rises, Shakti wakes in the light. Both are sacred. Now, as you rest, you too are part of her rhythm. Your breath is a tide, in and out, rising and falling, like the waves of her ocean. Your heart is a drum, steady, patient. Like the beat of her cosmic dance, you do not need to move, you do not need to seek. Already you are within her. Already you are safe. Some called her mother. Some called her power. Some called her love. Her names are many, but her presence is one. She is the hidden flame in all beings. She is the hand that guides the stars. She is the silence after the song, and the song after silence. So let the night hold you now. Let the stars shine softly above you. Let your body rest, cradled by the earth, cradled by Shakti's embrace. The universe is moving still, yet you are at peace within it. Her dance carries you, as gently as the river carries a flower. There is no need to cling. There is no need to fear. You are part of her. You are carried. And as sleep drifts closer, hear again the sound of the drum, low, steady, like the heartbeat of the world. It fades into your own heartbeat. It fades into the rhythm of your breath. It fades into silence. Shakti remains, soft, eternal, holding you in her cosmic dance. Now rest as the stars return. Now drift as the night grows deep. Now sleep in the arms of Shakti, the cosmic power, the eternal mother, the breath of all things. The night has grown still. The stars gather like silent witnesses above fields of sleeping earth. The wind is soft, moving as if it carries forgotten prayers between the trees. A single flame burns in the darkness, the glow of a hearth, steady and warm. It lights the faces of women who keep watch while others rest. These are the midwives, keepers of life, guardians of birth, servants of healing. Their hands do not carry swords, their voices do not command armies, yet their presence is strong, woven quietly into the fabric of every village, every family, every heart. Long before temples were carved from stone, before scriptures were inked on scrolls, women of wisdom walked softly through the paths of the world. They carried no books, but the body remembered their teachings. They sang no grand hymns, but their whispers steadied the trembling. Their altars were hearths, their offerings were herbs and waters, their prayers were hands laid gently on the sick. The midwives were more than healers. They were bridges between the unseen and the seen, between the soul waiting in silence and the child entering breath. They were the steady heartbeat in moments of fear, the calm lantern in nights of labor. And though history spoke often of kings and priests, the midwives shaped the rhythm of life in ways the world could never forget. Imagine a small hut at the edge of a village. Its roof is thatched, its walls of mud and straw. A faint glow flickers inside. The air smells of smoke and crushed leaves, a mixture of herbs prepared for healing. Outside, the night is hushed, but inside, a woman labors to bring forth new life. The midwife kneels beside her. Her hands are warm, her eyes calm. She speaks not with loud words, but with soft tones that rise and fall like waves. She wipes the sweat from the mother's brow, places herbs in the fire, and lets the fragrant smoke carry strength into the air. The room feels steady, as though time itself waits patiently. Soon, the cry of a newborn pierces the silence, not harsh, but like a bell ringing softly at dawn. The midwife smiles, holding both mother and child in her gaze, blessing them with silence, more sacred than speech. Midwives were healers, but also keepers of mystery. They knew the herbs that cooled fevered skin. They knew the oils that soothed weary bones. They knew the roots that brought strength to the weak, and the teas that calmed restless minds. Yet beyond their knowledge of plants, they carried wisdom of the soul. They understood that healing was not only of the body, but of the spirit. To the sick they brought touch and comfort. To the grieving, they brought words like balm. To the lost, they offered patience and listening. Their healing was not only in remedies, but in presence itself, a reminder that no one suffers alone. Stories from many lands speak of these women. In the deserts of the Middle East, they carried jars of water and whispered blessings under the stars. In the forests of Europe, they gathered herbs beneath the moon, knowing which leaves carried medicine and which carried dreams. In Africa, they sang songs in rhythm with the drum of the earth, welcoming children with voices that bound them to the tribe. In Asia, they burned incense, bathed the newborn in sacred waters, and gave thanks to the ancestors who watched unseen. Everywhere, their work was quiet but essential. Everywhere, their touch was known, though their names were often unrecorded. The midwife's gift was not only her hands, it was her presence, calm as still water, gentle as moonlight. In moments of pain, she brought steadiness. In moments of fear, she brought courage. She taught that the secretes not always in temples of stone, but in the body's breath, the cry of a child, the warmth of a healing touch. There is a tale told in whispers of a woman who labored in silence with only the stars to watch. The midwife came swiftly, with herbs and cloth. The child was born beneath the sky, and the stars themselves seemed to bend low in witness. The mother wept with joy, and the midwife whispered, "This child carries the breath of the universe. Guard it with love." Every child, she believed, was a spark of the divine. To welcome a child was to welcome light into the world. Not all their work was in birth. They tended to the dying as well. When the body grew frail and the breath grew shallow, it was often the midwife's hands that closed the eyes, that washed the skin, that spoke gentle prayers. They stood at the doorway of life's beginning and life's end. They knew both were sacred. They knew both were part of the same passage, a river flowing into the great unseen, and so they taught the living not to fear. Life is a circle, they would say. Each ending is a beginning. Each breath returns to the greater. Breath. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine those hands. Hands that have caught countless children, that have eased pain, that have wiped away tears. Hands lined with age, but steady with grace. Hands that do not judge, that do not turn away, that only give. Such hands are holy. Such hands are prayers. Though their names may be forgotten, their presence has never faded. For even now, when a child is born, when the sick are tended, when comfort is given in silence, the spirit of the midwives lives on. They remind us that love itself is a form of medicine, that kindness is a balm as powerful as any herb, that to sit beside another, to listen, to care, is divine service. Some said the midwives were guided by spirits of the earth. Some said they carried wisdom from the goddesses of old. Perhaps both are true. Perhaps the earth herself placed knowledge in their hearts. For what is a healer but a bridge between the human and the holy? The midwives knew a secret. Healing is not always about curing. Sometimes it is about presence. Sometimes it is about reminding the soul that it is loved, that it belongs, that it is never alone. In the hush of their work, they carried the peace of eternity. And so, as night deepens around you, think of their gentle service. Think of the quiet strength of those women who gave without seeking praise, who held the fabric of community with their unseen threads. Their wisdom was not written in books. It was written in the cries of newborns, in the sighs of the comforted, in the stillness of those passing on. The stars above shine like lamps lit in their memory. The earth below holds the echo of their footsteps. The air around carries the hush of their songs. Even now, their spirit moves quietly like a river beneath the soil, like a flame within the dark. Rest now, as if in their care. Feel the calm of their hands cradling your spirit. Feel the warmth of their presence easing your breath. You are safe. You are tended. You are held in. Love, let the night deepen. Let your body grow still. Let your thoughts dissolve like smoke in the wind. The midwives are near, their healing hands unseen, guiding you into rest. Now drift as the stars return. Now dream as the earth sings softly. Now sleep in the peace of the midwives' embrace. The forest is quiet. A silver light drapes itself across the pines, and the air carries the cool breath of night. The moon rests high above, watching gently over the world, and the earth listens in stillness. You step softly, as if upon sacred ground, for every leaf and stone here belongs to her. This is the domain of Artemis, goddess of the wild woods. Her spirit moves like wind through the trees, not loud, not forceful, but steady, calm, unshakable. She belongs to the silence of the glade, to the rivers that shimmer like ribbons of glass, to the deer who bend their heads to drink at twilight. Her presence is felt more than seen, a gentle whisper, a soft hush, a sense that the forest itself is alive, awake, and watching. Artemis is the protector of the wild. She guards the soft fur of the hare, the careful steps of the fox, the wings of the owl as it glides unseen between branches. She stands with the wolf beneath the moon, with the doe beneath the oak, with the smallest seed resting in the soil. Her guardianship is not heavy with chains or walls, but free as the river that winds, free as the wind that carries seed to new ground. She is freedom, wrapped in grace. The old stories say she was born in light, the daughter of Leto, twin of Apollo. She came into the world beneath the clear sky. Her hands reached for the bow. Her feet knew the mountain paths. Her heart beat with the rhythm of wild streams. She was not bound by palace or crown, but belonged instead to open air and starlit woodlands. In her, the wild is not something to fear. It is something sacred. The still pool hidden in the trees is not a place of danger, but of reflection. The deep thickets are not traps, but sanctuaries. The cry of the owl is not a warning, but a song of the night's wisdom. To walk in her forest is to remember that nature itself has a soul. You hear it now. The forest floor gives beneath your feet like soft moss. Above, branches sway gently, painting moving shadows in the silver moonlight. The night is not empty. It is filled with voices, small, subtle, and kind. The chirp of a cricket, the rustle of a deer's step, the faint movement of water nearby. Flowing as it always has, each sound carries peace, and each breath carries the blessing of Artemis. She is the bow holder, the huntress. Yet her hunt is not only for food, but for balance. Her arrow reminds the world that life feeds life, and nothing is wasted in the circle. Every meal is prayer. Every offering of life is met with reverence. To her, even the smallest act of nature holds holiness. She is fierce, yes, but her fierceness is not cruelty. It is the fierceness of love, the strength of protection, the vow of care. Artemis also guards the young, the first breath of the newborn fawn, the soft cry of a child coming into the world. She leans close, unseen, and her presence steadies the trembling. In many homes, mothers whispered her name, calling her gentle blessing for safe births, for strong beginnings. Her hands, though unseen, always hovered nearby, like the soft weight of moonlight on a window ledge. You move deeper into the forest. Pines give way to oaks, and the ground is soft with fallen needles. Somewhere ahead, you sense a clearing, a place where the moonlight will pour in like a river of silver. You walk as though guided by her, for Artemis has always guided wanderers, those who seek a path when roads are lost. Her light is a lantern in the wilderness, but one that does not dazzle or blind, only comforts. In the clearing, the trees part. There stands a circle of stones, ancient and smooth, placed long before memory. At their center burns a low fire, not of flame but of glow, as if the earth itself were breathing light. This, too, is her shrine, not carved in marble, not written in gold, but born of moss, stone, root, and moon. Here you see her image rise in your mind, not painted, not sculpted, but felt. She is tall, graceful, her hair flowing like the dark branches of cypress trees. Her eyes shine with the same glow as the moon above. At her side walks a deer, silent as shadow, soft as dawn. Around her shoulders rests the night air, fragrant with pine and wild herbs. She looks at you, not with judgment, but with quiet knowing. The goddess speaks, not in words but in silence. Her silence is deep, yet it carries meaning. It tells you that you are free, that the chains of worry can slip away, like water down a stream, that you belong to the earth as much as the trees, as much as the stars. You are not separate. You are not forgotten. You are part of the circle she guards, the same circle that carries fawn and wolf, bird and seed. Artemis teaches that true strength is gentle, that the strongest tree bends with the storm, that the river carves stone not with force, but with patience. That protection need not roar. It can rest in silence, stand firm, and endure. Her lesson is a lullaby of balance. It asks nothing of you but rest, to lay down your burdens, to breathe with the forest, to trust in the great cycles of life. The night deepens. Stars bloom across the sky like silver blossoms. The air grows cooler, and a mist gathers near the earth. In this mist, the deer walk slowly, their steps soft, their eyes calm. They are her companions, always close, always safe. They bow their heads to drink, and the water shimmers like a mirror of the moon. You sit at the edge of the clearing. The stones around you hum with quiet energy. The fire glow at the center flickers, but never fades. Above, the moon pours down its steady light. The forest is a cradle now, rocking softly. The goddess is near, watching with calm eyes, and the world feels safe. Artemis belongs to the stillness between heartbeats, to the gentle strength hidden in silence, to the unseen hand that steadies, the unseen light that guides. She is the reminder that freedom and protection can live together, that one may walk untamed, yet still be cared for, that the wild, too, is sacred, and that to rest in its arms is to rest in, or hers. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on water. Let your body soften like moss on stone. The goddess of the wild woods keeps watch. The trees sway like her slow breath. The moon glows like her eternal eye. You are safe beneath her. Care, now rest. As the night deepens, as the stars gather above, as the forest hums with quiet life, Artemis walks here still, through the deer, the pine, the soft winds of the night. Let her presence hold you. Let her silence sing to you. Let sleep come, as gentle as her hand, as endless as her forest. Let us drift onward. Now rest. As the stars return, night falls softly across the hills of Europe. The last colors of the sky fade into deep indigo, and stars begin to scatter like silver dust. Stone chapels, small and hidden, sit quietly in valleys and along mountainsides. Candles burn low, their flames trembling in the hush of evening. And within these chapels, carved in wood or stone, rests a mystery. The Black Madonnas, mothers of shadow and light. Her face is dark, not with absence, but with depth. Her skin is carved in shades of earth and night, and her eyes are steady, holding something both ancient and tender. She does not gleam in polished ivory. She does not shine in gold leaf. She waits, quiet and strong, cloaked in colors of soil and starless sky. And to those who come to her, she whispers of survival, of hope carried through silence, of love that endures even in hidden places. Some say she was born from the old earth goddesses, carried forward when temples turned into chapels. Some say her darkness is the soot of candle smoke, gathering over centuries. Others say it is deliberate, a secret mark of mystery. But whatever story is told, the truth rests not in history alone, but in how her presence feels. For those who kneel before her, it is like resting in the arms of a mother who has known grief, yet still holds comfort. Imagine stepping inside such a chapel. The air is cool, heavy with incense. Stone walls echo the faint sound of prayer, soft and unhurried. Wooden pews stretch forward, and at the altar stands her image, the Black Madonna. Her child sits upon her lap, not fragile, but firm, his gaze clear and eternal. Their forms are simple, worn smooth by time and devotion, but something lingers, something that words cannot hold. She is the mother of those who suffer, the one who knows the silence of loss. Her cloak does not glitter like sunlit silk. It is heavy, dark, woven from shadow and soil. It says, even in the deepest night, life continues. It says, from the womb of earth, new beginnings are born, and it says, there is beauty in resilience, in the strength that bends but does not break. The Black Madonnas often dwell in hidden places, high in mountains, low in caves, at the roots of trees, shrines tucked away from cities, reached only by winding paths. To seek her is to journey inward, to leave the noise of the world and step into quiet, into shadow, into the unknown that heals. Pilgrims have walked such paths for centuries. Through rain and cold, they carried flowers, candles, whispered prayers. Some came seeking health. Some came seeking peace. Some came with nothing but tears. And at the end of their walk, when they reached her, the Black Madonna welcomed them not with grandeur, but with stillness. Her dark gaze told them, you are seen. You are not forgotten. Her mystery is this. She carries both sorrow and hope together, and neither erases the other. Her darkness is not a wound, but a womb, not an end, but a beginning. She shows that shadow and light do not fight, but embrace. In her presence, grief softens, fear loosens, and love steady and enduring begins to glow again. Think of her as the earth itself, rich soil, dark and hidden, yet carrying seeds that rise toward the sun. Think of her as the night sky, silent, vast, endless, yet filled with stars that guide the traveler. Think of her as the still water of a deep lake, reflecting both moon and cloud. She is all of these, and she is the mother to all who seek rest in her arms. Her child, the infant on her lap, is never small in meaning. Though carved in tender form, he is ancient as light. Together, mother and child form an image of wholeness, the sorrowing mother and the eternal child of hope. She holds him firmly, reminding us that even in darkness, life is carried forward. No shadow can erase the promise of dawn. In some towns, festivals rise in her honor. Her statue is lifted and carried through winding streets. Bells ring. Candles flicker in windows. Songs echo between stone walls. People walk beside her, holding her presence as blessing. And though her image is solemn, the joy around her grows, like flowers blooming after rain. Her mystery is celebrated, not solved. But even in silence, she is powerful. Imagine sitting alone in a chapel, the air thick with centuries of prayer. Only the Black Madonna looks back at you. Her gaze does not demand. It does not command. It simply stays. In her eyes, you feel known even in your hidden parts. You feel safe, even in your fragility. And slowly, a stillness begins to rise inside you, soft and steady, like candlelight spreading across a darkened room. She teaches that resilience is quiet. It does not roar. It does not break stone. It waits. It holds. It roots itself in silence, in darkness, and from there, it grows. Her presence reminds you that the deepest wounds can become wells of wisdom, that the heaviest nights can carry the stars, that the darkest soil can hold the seed of tomorrow. Black Madonna is not a goddess of sunlight alone. She belongs to the shadows too, and in this, she is whole. She embraces the parts of life that are unseen, the parts we hide, the parts we fear. She whispers that nothing is wasted, not sorrow, not struggle, not silence. All can be cradled, all can be transformed. So as you rest now, imagine her presence beside you, her cloak spread wide, soft as velvet night, her gaze steady, kind as the earth, her hands holding both sorrow and hope, both shadow and light. You are safe here. Within her arms, you are part of her endless story. You are her child, carried in love that has no end. The night deepens, candles burn lower. The stars above lean closer. The chapels grow still, their walls breathing with quiet prayer. And the Black Madonnas remain, watching, listening, waiting. They are the mothers of the hidden places, the keepers of hope in shadow. Their silence is not empty. It is full of love, ancient and enduring. Now let your thoughts drift like incense smoke, rising and fading into the night. Let your body rest like stone under moonlight. Let your spirit soften, held in the quiet gaze of the Mother of Shadows. She will keep watch. She will carry you. She will hold you. Through the night and into the dawn, let us drift onward. Now rest. As the stars return, the night grows deep, and silence falls like a soft cloak. The stars above shimmer gently, their light hidden and revealed by drifting clouds. Somewhere in the distance, an owl calls, its voice low and ancient. The air carries the fragrance of herbs, crushed beneath quiet hands, waiting to be stirred into healing teas. This is the threshold of the hidden, the place where mysteries are not spoken loudly, but breathed like prayers into the folds of night. Across the ages, women gathered in secret places, sometimes in caves, where the earth closed around them like a womb, sometimes in gardens, surrounded by herbs that grew wild and fragrant, sometimes in moonlit rooms, where curtains swayed with the wind. They gathered not for power, but for memory, for the keeping of knowledge too precious to be forgotten. These were the mysteries veiled, not to hide from love, but to guard their sacredness, like embers glowing within the hearth. Their rites were gentle, woven with rhythm and patience. They watched the cycles of the moon, rising and falling, waxing and waning, as the sky itself breathed with them. They traced the turning of seasons, the dance of winter into spring, the ripening of fruit, the fading of leaves. They read the language of stars, not with charts, but with wonder, as if each constellation whispered a story across the night. And in their silence, they remembered what others forgot, that life is a circle, not a straight line, that endings are beginnings, folded within one another like petals of a flower. They carried healing in their hands. Roots, bark, leaves, and blossoms were their companions. Each herb carried a song, and they knew how to listen. Chamomile for rest, rose for comfort, mint for clarity, lavender for peace. They whispered these names as lullabies, soft as wind through reeds, and those who received their care felt not only healed in body, but cradled in spirit. Some called them keepers of mysteries, but they did not hoard knowledge as treasure. They held it as one holds water in cupped hands, carefully, lovingly, knowing it must be passed on, or it would slip away. Their secrets were not loud commands. They were songs, woven in whispers, carried by memory, shared from mother to daughter, from sister to sister, and through the quiet bonds of trust. Imagine now the circle of women in the night. Their faces are half hidden by the glow of fire. Their voices rise in soft chant, not sharp, not hurried, but slow as breath. The sound is like waves folding gently onto sand. One begins, another follows until the circle hums with harmony. It is not meant for the ear alone, but for the soul. A song that soothes, a song that protects, a song that reminds you are not alone. In their mysteries, veils were not walls. They were gentle coverings like shawls placed over the shoulders, like mist softening the edges of morning hills. To lift a veil was not to reveal a hidden trick. It was to step deeper into wonder, to honor what cannot be rushed. One veil opens to another, and another, each carrying you inward, like walking through layers of dawn before the full light of day. The women knew that some truths could not be shouted. They must be whispered, like a name of a loved one spoken close to the heart. Too much noise, and the truth would scatter. But in silence, in softness. It grew strong, so their mysteries remained veiled, not out of fear, but out of love. Love for the sacred rhythm of life. Love for the earth that fed them. Love for the generations yet to come, who would need these quiet truths to find their way. There are stories of how these mysteries moved across lands. In temples, they were woven into sacred rites. In forests, they were hidden in the dance of trees. In deserts, they were carried in the footprints of wanderers. Wherever women gathered in trust, the veils of mystery unfolded, not to reveal power over others, but to remind them of the power within. To rest in these mysteries is to feel the slow turning of the universe. It is to know that every seed contains a tree, and every night contains the promise of dawn. It is to remember that silence is not emptiness, but fullness too deep for words. The women of old did not need books or scrolls. They needed only the sky above, the earth below, and the listening of their hearts. That was enough. That was everything. Now let yourself imagine entering such a circle. You sit among them, the fire warm, the herbs fragrant, the chants low and soothing. A shawl is draped across your shoulders. Someone places a cup in your hands, filled with calming tea, steam rising in the night. No one rushes you, no one questions you. They smile softly, as if to say, "You are welcome, you are safe, you are part of this mystery too." The fire crackles. The stars turn slowly above. The veils of mystery rest gently around you, not heavy but comforting. They hold you in the same way the earth holds the seed, the same way the night holds the stars. In this space, there is nothing to prove, nothing to fear, nothing to strive for, only the quiet rhythm of breath, the warmth of belonging, and the deep rest that rises when the soul feels safe. The mysteries of old may seem far away, but they still linger, in the quiet care of hands that heal, in the soft voice of a mother soothing her child, in the wisdom carried silently in the heart. They are not gone. They are simply veiled, waiting for those who walk gently enough to see them, waiting for those who listen, not with the ear, but with the soul. So let yourself drift now, as if wrapped in those veils, each veil softer than the last, each veil drawing you deeper into rest. The mysteries are not heavy. They are light as breath. They do not bind you. They free you. They do not confuse. They comfort, and they are here, holding you as the night unfolds. The fire dims. The chants grow faint. The stars watch in silence, and the veils of mystery remain, soft and eternal, wrapped around the world. Let them hold you. Let them soothe you. Let them guide you into rest. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. The night has deepened, the air is cool, and the world is hushed. A soft breeze moves slowly through unseen branches, carrying the faintest murmur of leaves. Above, the heavens stretch wide and endless, dark as velvet, sprinkled with the light of countless stars. Each star glimmers like a tiny flame, steady and watchful, as if 1,000 eyes gaze gently upon the earth. This is the hour of the goddesses of night, those who spread the sky like a blanket, those who guide the stars, those who cradle the sleeping world. Long ago, people looked upward and felt their presence. They gave them names, Nyx, Nut, Not, and many more. Though from different lands and tongues, each told of a motherly power who ruled the night. wrapping the world in mystery, yet also in protection. The night was not feared, but honored, for it was the domain of the goddesses, and under their star-filled arms, all life could find its rest. Imagine Nyx, the goddess of night in ancient Greece. She is older than even the gods of Olympus, a being born from the first shadows when the world was still young. Her cloak is darker than the deepest midnight, yet within it shine the seeds of stars. She moves silently across the sky, her presence felt in the hush that falls when the world slips into sleep. She is not loud, she is not fierce, she is gentle, like a tide that pulls softly at the edges of the shore. Her power is quiet, but it is endless, and those who dreamed beneath her veil knew they were safe in her vast embrace. Far to the south, along the Nile, another vision of night stretched above the earth. She was Nut, the goddess of the sky, arching her long body across creation. Her skin was painted with stars, her form bending over the world like a mother bending over her child. Her fingers touched the horizon on one side, her toes touched the other. Beneath her arched body, the sun, the moon, and all the stars found their path. The ancient people of Egypt lay under her starry belly and knew that she was protecting them, her body forming the ceiling of the world. To them, the sky was not empty. It was a goddess, alive, eternal, watching, and holding all things in her arms. In the cold lands of the north, where nights stretched long and deep, they spoke of Nut. She rode across the heavens in a chariot drawn by dark horses, her cloak trailing shadows, her eyes filled with starlight. Each evening she crossed the sky, bringing night's calm. Each morning her daughter dog followed, carrying the light of day. To the people who lived by firelight, who listened to the howling of winds, Nut was not a stranger, she was a friend, bringing the quiet balance after the bright and restless hours of daylight. Different names, different lands, yet the same truth flowed beneath them all. The night was not emptiness. It was presence. It was the slow rhythm of breath. It was the motherly care of a goddess who veiled the world in peace. Look upward now, and you may feel them still. The stars above are more than lights. They are beads upon the cloak of Nyx. They are the jeweled skin of Nut. They are the sparks falling from Nut's passing chariot. Every culture found the same comfort in their glow. Every heart felt the same peace beneath their sheltering arms. To lie beneath the night is to remember that you are never alone. Each star is a reminder. Each star is a witness. Each star says, rest, for the night is vast enough to hold you. Even the darkness, which might seem endless, is a gift. It cools the heat of the day. It quiets the noise of the world. It slows the rushing of thoughts. It makes space for dreams to rise, like the moon rising over still water. The goddesses of night carry more than silence. They carry mystery. They remind us that not everything needs to be seen. Not everything needs to be known. There is beauty in what is hidden. There is safety in the unseen. Just as a seed grows in darkness before it reaches the sun, so too does the soul rest in shadow before it awakens to light. The veils of the goddesses are not prisons. They are soft shelters, like curtains swaying gently, like clouds covering the moon. They protect, they nurture, they allow rest. Those who prayed to them did so with whispers, not with shouts. They offered small lamps, quiet songs, the smoke of herbs rising into the night air. And in return, they felt the presence of the starry mothers, surrounding them like a circle, timeless and eternal. The power of night was not to conquer, it was to comfort. It was to hold the world steady until the dawn returned. Imagine yourself lying on soft earth. The sky stretches above, endless and dark, yet filled with shining lights. You feel the curve of Nut bending over you, her stars twinkling softly. You sense Nyx wrapping her cloak around you, heavy with peace. You hear the distant hoofbeats of Nut's horses, carrying her across the sky, her chariot wheels humming like a lullaby. All of them are here. All of them are with you. The goddesses of night, each from a different land, all sharing the same truth. That night is a gift, and under its blanket, you may safely dream. The stars glimmer like scattered jewels. They are not hurried. They are not restless. They shine with patience, with calm, with quiet promise. Each one is like a heartbeat, slow and steady, far away, yet always near. The more you gaze upon them, the more you feel their rhythm drawing you inward, guiding you toward rest. The vastness does not overwhelm, it soothes. It reminds you that you are part of something greater, part of a universe that has always known how to cradle its children. And so, the night stretches on, the stars watch in silence, the goddesses keep their vigil. Nyx, with her cloak of shadows, Nut, with her star-strewn body, Not with her chariot wheels gliding across the heavens. They are not far away. They are here, in the breath of the air, in the hush of the sky, in the gentle weight of darkness that helps the world to sleep. Now let the stars become your blanket. Let the night become your cradle. The goddesses are here, holding you. They ask nothing of you but rest. No task, no burden, only peace, only stillness, only the slow rhythm of sleep. Let the stars soften into dreams. Let the night deepen into silence. The goddesses remain eternal, their arms stretched wide across the heavens. They will guard you until dawn. They will guide you through the passage of dreams. They will keep you safe beneath their starry veils. Let us drift onward. Now rest as the stars return. The night is quiet. The stars shimmer faintly above, as though the sky itself breathes with you. The air feels gentle, a cool veil settling over the earth. Every sound has softened, every movement slowed. This is the hour of closing, when the stories of goddesses, mothers, and guardians gather together, weaving themselves into a single thread. The thread curls and bends until it forms a circle, an eternal circle of the feminine divine. It is said that circles never end. They have no beginning, no breaking point. They hold all things in unity, all things in balance. And so too does the wisdom of the sacred women of ages past. Though they spoke in many tongues, though their names were many, their voices still hum with the same song. It is a song of protection, of nourishment, of the hidden strength that moves quietly through the world. Imagine now that you are standing at the center of such a circle. The ground beneath you feels steady, like ancient stone warmed by countless suns. Around you, the figures of women gather. Some are queens, robed in light. Some are midwives, carrying herbs in gentle hands. Some are priestesses, with eyes turned toward the stars. Some are mothers, their arms full of children, their hearts full of love. Though they come from different lands, they stand together, forming a circle that cannot be broken. The circle begins with the oldest memory. Long ago, when the earth was new, when firelight flickered inside caves, people painted on stone the image of a mother, full-bodied, powerful, fertile. She was not given one single name, but her spirit lived in many names that would come later. She was the first great mother, the one who gave form to life itself. Her memory glows at the root of the circle, the place where all stories begin. Next to her stand the midwives and healers, those who worked with herbs, water, and song. They guided life as it entered the world, their hands steady, their voices calm. They tended the sick, comforted the weary, and reminded all that care itself is sacred. In their touch, the divine was felt not in temples of stone, but in the quiet moments of kindness and healing. Their wisdom joins the circle like a steady flame, warming all who draw near. Beside them stand the goddesses of hearth and home, Hestia, who kept the fire burning in the heart of Greece, Vesta, whose flame in Rome was never allowed to fade. These keepers of sacred fire ensured that families were safe, that warmth never left the home. Their presence in the circle is like glowing embers, reminding us that love can be steady, constant, and eternal. The circle widens, and the wild goddesses step forward, Artemis of the forests, who ran with deer under the pines, Diana of the moonlight, protector of the young and the free. They remind us that the divine feminine is not only gentle, but also strong, untamed, and protective. They hold the balance between nurture and freedom, between stillness and movement. Their part of the circle feels like the whisper of wind through trees, fierce and free, yet soft enough to guide you deeper into rest. Further still, the circle stretches to the mothers of the sky. Nut, arching over the world, her body filled with stars, Nyx, whose cloak carried the silence of night, Not, who rode her chariot across the heavens. They remind us that the night is not empty, but a living presence, filled with guardianship. Their place in the circle is vast and soothing, like a blanket of stars wrapped around you, endless and protective. And then, at another point in the circle, stand the Black Madonnas, sacred mothers cloaked in shadow, their faces carved in wood and stone. They are not polished, not shining with gold, but darkened, weathered, resilient. They remind us of survival, of the strength to endure, of the tenderness that shines through hardship. Their place in the circle is grounding, steady, a reminder that even in shadow, love remains. Now the circle is nearly complete. The veiled priestesses arrive, carrying secrets of the moon, the stars, and the cycles of earth. They whisper softly, their words like lullabies that drift on the air. They remind us that not all wisdom must be spoken loudly. Some truths are held quietly, protected like seeds in the soil, waiting to bloom in time. Their presence in the circle is gentle, hushed, like the calm before dawn. All these voices now join together. The mothers, the goddesses, the priestesses, the healers, they are not separate, they are not divided. They form one eternal circle, endless, whole, unbroken. Within this circle, you stand. Within this circle, you are held. Their arms, their voices, their love. All of it surrounds you. Soft as the air, strong as the stars, the circle of the feminine divine is not only in myth, it is in the hands that comfort a child. It is in the care that tends the sick. It is in the courage that protects the wild. It is in the patience of the stars, in the resilience of the earth, in the rhythm of breath itself. It is eternal because it is woven into life. It never ends because it is everywhere, always present, always holding. Now the circle begins to close, not with an ending, but with a return. The figures fade into the night, their presence still surrounding you, though unseen. The fire of their wisdom glows faintly, steady as the heartbeat of the earth. The stars above seem to shine more softly now, as if they too are part of the circle. You feel yourself resting inside its embrace, safe, protected, held in eternal arms. The stories of the goddesses are not only stories, they are blessings, drifting through time, carried by the breath of those who remembered. And tonight, they have reached you. Their circle surrounds you still, closing gently, but never breaking. You may rest inside it as long as you wish. You may dream within its shelter. So, let the night deepen, let the circle hold you. Let the stars cover you like a soft blanket. The eternal feminine divine surrounds you, ancient, patient, endless. Now drift onward, deeper and deeper, into quiet. Now rest as the stars return.